Okay, so let's talk about setting the scene. We're going to cover three aspects in this part. It's going to be setting the physical scene, so where are you going to meditate? Setting the sort of time-based theme, when are you going to meditate? And setting the theme in terms of intent, so your mental intent. So let's get into first covering the physical scene. Where are you going to meditate? In reality, it doesn't matter. Okay, so you just focus on the meditation object. You can do it wherever you like. However, most people prefer to have a particular place where they go to meditate, and they find that it sort of helps them to be primed. I personally have a room, my office space, and in a corner I've got like a meditation cupboard. And in there, my partner and I, we've got some candles, we've got some scents, we've got a few different things. You could put whatever you like in that space, like dress it up how you like. If you're religious, you could put religious objects there. If you're more spiritually orientated, you could put spiritual stuffs there. You could put books there, whatever sort of triggers you into being related into a meditative space. Some people prefer to be outside, some people prefer to be inside. It doesn't matter. I do suggest you have a go-to meditation space just because it helps prime you and gets you into the mood. In terms of what you want physically there, I like to sit on the ground. I just use the ground and a plain wall behind me, or just sitting on my feet cross-legged in that sort of lotus position because I'm flexible enough to do so. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people prefer to have a meditation cushion, a meditation chair, something nice, structurally strong, but not too intrusive. Some people prefer to lay down, in which case you might want a cushion and a blanket. Problem with lying down is you may fall asleep. So some people, when they do choose to lie down, will have their hand up when they're meditating. So if they do fall asleep, it'll fall and wake them up. Some people prefer to meditate standing or even do movement meditation. We'll talk about some of those variations later. The point is find yourself a space to meditate and use that space each day. In terms of when to meditate, when should you meditate? I like to do it first thing, as in I wake up, get myself a coffee, go to the toilet, do all of that sort of stuff, and then I go and sit down and meditate. I go to my meditation space and I start. Why do I do it as the first thing each day? The reason being is that it guarantees that I do it. Now, I love meditation, but I know that if I don't do it first thing, I've got maybe a 50% chance of finding the time for it. Because it always feels like there's other things you should do. Because when you start meditating, you realize that you're literally doing nothing. It's calming down, it's relaxing, it's all that sort of stuff, but you're not, quote unquote, doing anything. So, we're all busy, we've all got stuff to do. So it gets harder and harder to justify doing the meditation. This is why I do it the first thing. I wake up, I get myself ready, I meditate, then I go and do my exercise. Now, if you watch the Establish Your Morning Routine video short course that I've got on Skillshare, you'll be able to see in depth how I establish that morning routine. But basically, I would suggest that you do it first thing. Now, other people find that they like to meditate triggered by certain events. For example, I'll meditate just before or just after a meal, or just before I go to sleep, or just before or just after a workout, or just after they come home from work or in their lunch break or whatever. Find the time that works for you and stick to it. And if you find yourself not being able to meditate in that time, that's okay. Change it up. One of the reasons why I like it as a first thing / last thing, the benefits of doing it the first thing in the morning is that it primes your day. You wake up, you're calm, you're ready to go, right? So it helps you for the rest of the day. The benefits of doing it at night as the last thing is it helps calm you down and gets you ready for sleep. Not that going to sleep effectively is your goal, but it can very much help. Sometimes people have a long and stressful work day, and sitting down to meditate just causes frustration because you're dealing with all of these thoughts. Now, obviously, meditation is designed to help you with those, and over time it will, but if you try and do it after stressful events every day when you're first starting, you're not going to have as much success as if you start with a fresh mindset. I know some people who choose to exercise first, then sit down and meditate. The reason being is that it gets in and primes them in that nice physical feeling. They feel strong, they feel like they've already done something, and then they're sitting down for a positive session. Once again, technically it doesn't matter because all of the thoughts and stuff popping up, you just acknowledge and return your focus back to the breath. But it sort of does when you're starting out because you want to have positive sessions. You want to be able to get into the habit. Establishing a habit is important. On that topic, I would strongly, strongly suggest that you either get your family on board meditating with you so that you're all on board, you're all doing it, you all know what everyone's doing. Or alternatively, you find yourself a space where you can't be interrupted. Maybe you put a sign on the door that says, I'm meditating, or do not disturb, or that sort of stuff. And you let them know that this is your time that you're taking. It's important that people in your life know that you're taking this time as a form of self-care, and it can be very helpful to you to do that. So find a space that is your own. Find a time frame that you can work with that keeps you and that enables you to keep up the habit. Because particularly when you're starting, it's important about establishing that routine and to be able to do it ongoing. Find a space where you won't be interrupted. Close, lock the door, put a sign up, whatever you need to, and sit down to meditate. Some optional extras, like I said, you can put the scents, you can have the spiritual objects, all that sort of stuff. I do suggest you get a meditation timer or an app. I use an app, the Waking Up app by Sam Harris. It has a meditation timer on it. You don't need to use that. I'll talk about that later in the resources section. But I do suggest you get a meditation timer. Why? Because if you set yourself a timer, I'm going to meditate for 1, 5, 10, 20, an hour, whatever you like, then you know not to step off the mat, not to listen to those thoughts of like, oh my God, I've been doing this for so long, or I'm bored, or whatever. You acknowledge them, let them go until the timer goes off. That's when you hop off. Okay, so set yourself a timer, and in the next video I'm going to talk about how to prime yourself mentally, but having a meditation timer there really does help to know when you're going to stop. You can get them off eBay for like $2-3, so it's a very worthwhile invention. I think you just search for something like kitchen timer or a countdown timer. If you search for a specific meditation timer, you'll be paying through the nose because it's just a timer. Find a timer and use it, yeah?